bloop. Hey, my legion, how y'all doing today? I tell you what, The Last Man on Earth, the long-awaited comedy with Will Forte that they've been advertised for a couple months, finally premiered tonight. It just ended. It was an hour long. It was 2 half-hour back-to-back episodes. I watched it with my dad. I loved it. My dad was stone-faced the whole time. He said it was lame, but I loved it. I thought it was really funny. Apparently, the year is 2020, and this one virus hit the earth, and it was just Will Forte going from state to state to state to state to state all over America, trying to find somebody who was marking X's off on a map, and he finally decides to go to Arizona. He says, "I'm living in Tucson. I'm alive in Tucson," or something like that. All these signs and everywhere. He gives up. He goes back to like this flea-bitten hotel that he was in. He decides, heck with this. I'm the only one there. So he goes to this really nice community. He goes to this mansion. He breaks into the mansion. He starts living there. He has all this stolen artwork, Rembrandts and all this famous paintings and stuff like that he got. He does stuff like he tries to go into the grocery store. Instead of that, no shoes, no shirt, no shirt, he goes in with a shirt. And instead of the door, the window's locked, he just takes a gun and shoots the window out and goes in his shops and gets whatever he wants. He gets a lot of pornography too. And there's no running water. And he was like taking all this bottled water, trying to fill up the toilet and use it. But he said, heck with this. He went to the pool where they had a diving board, and he cut out a big circle on the bottom. He just sit on there, and he called it his toilet pool. And he just used a big pool to use the toilet because no running water. And it was a bunch of crazy stuff. He had a generator going. He was watching the movie Castaway, and he said, "No way is Tom Hanks talking to a beach. That's not even real." I mean, because they had to see with Tom Hanks talking to a beach ball. He said, "No way is that real. The beach ball is not a person. You'll never catch me talking to a beach ball." Then, like 5 months later, he was talking to all these different types of balls, different shapes, and sizes, like about 20 or 30 of them. And he just got to there was 2 years later, and he was like a super alcoholic, drinking all the time. And, his house was completely trashed and stuff like that. He just gave up. He was trying to do a Jenga tower. He was doing stuff like crazy bowling, smashing cars, and all this other stuff. And he's about ready to kill himself. And he had this big spray painted thing saying that Phil died here and stuff like that. And had his friends, the balls, around. And he said that, well, I guess he had like a big bullseye. He was going to drive into that mountain and kill himself. And he said, "Well, I guess this is it." But I have to say one thing. They nailed it on Castaway. They were completely right about talking to balls and being crazy and stuff like that. And he drives and drives and drives. And right where that happened, he stops. And he turns. And he sees some smoke in the distance. And he says, "Wait a minute. Something's going on." And he goes over there. He finds another camp. He finds the last woman on Earth. Now, my dad said they just ruined it, but actually they didn't, because it was called Last Man on Earth, and he's still last man on Earth, and she's the last woman on Earth. And it's played by the girl, I can't remember her name, or the guy, the last man on Earth, is played by Will Forte from Saturday Night Live. And the last woman on Earth, I can't remember her name. She was the one that does the voice for the girl with the rabbit ears on Bob's Burgers, and she's nuts. Well, they're both nuts. And they can't stand each other and talk about repopulating the world and stuff like that. And basically, they can't stand each other. I think it's a brilliant, brilliant show. My dad was stone-faced the whole time. It's like you can't get him. Don't smile for nothing. I mean, comedy and nothing, but I mean, it's a brilliant show. I really enjoyed it. It was really funny. And she came to look at his place, and he saw all those dirty magazines. He said, "What are these magazines for?" And he goes, "Well, they're masturbatory." And she said, it's really funny. It's a completely brilliant show. I loved it. I give it a 9 out of 10. Now, it's going to be on next week. What happened was they usually it's on during Animation Domination. And they have the shows from 7 to 8, which are usually reruns. And they usually have the rerun shows. Then 8 o'clock is Simpsons. 8:30 is Brooklyn Nine-Nine now. And then they'd have Family Guy at 9 o'clock and Bob's Burgers at 9:30. Now what they did this time was they had a rerun of The Simpsons at 7 o'clock, and at 7:30 they had Bob's Burgers, and they had Simpsons, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and then an hour long of Last Man on Earth. What they're probably going to do is keep Bodsberg at 7:30 like they did. Simpsons, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, then Family Guy, then Last Man on Earth. And like I said, it's a brilliant show. I give it a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I see great things in the future for the show, but more than likely it's not going to last because mid-season replacement show, and I love the show Enlisted when it came out, and that didn't last either. I don't think this show's going to last, but I think it's really funny. I don't know. It all depends on what the people think. Because Malcolm in the Middle was a mid-season replacement show, and that was a big hit. This might be a big hit. I really enjoyed it. But see what my dad hated, but I loved it. So I give it a 9 out of 10. So there you have it for my review of Last Man on Earth. Now I want to tell you a couple things about how cold it's been. On the weather, I watched it today. I was a little bit blown away. They said that this was the coldest. Now, this is Erie County. I live in Erie County. I live in Cranesville, Erie County. And they said by the weather standards, they've been keeping track of the weather for like the last 140 years. This has been the coldest February in the last 140 years. In 140 years, this has been the coldest February. And the second coldest month on record, except for January. I don't know if it was last January or another January. I don't know. But it's been really cold. Now, it's going to be in the 20s this week. Today's March 1st, believe it or not. And tomorrow's the 2nd. So, oh, well. Kind of crazy. But what can you do? So, there you have it. I really enjoyed The Last Man on Earth. 9 out of 10. It was on. It's really tough. There's so many shows on. It was on opposite Walking Dead, but I watched this show. And in a way, it's kind of like Walking Dead, similar to like the I Am Legend thing with The Last Man on Earth and stuff. He finds monsters and stuff, but this one's the only monster is that crazy lady. So, till next time, bye, please. Take care, my legion. 9 out of 10 for Last Man on Earth. Very funny.